Welcome to episode 27 of the Reality Podcast, you guys. Be sure to hit that subscribe button down below and also ring those bells for all notifications. Guys, cue the music. One more time, please. I can just end the podcast right there. Simple. Simple. I can just end the podcast right there. Simple. I really can. Don't know what to tell you. So, as I'm getting ready to record, I go on Twitter and I find out that The Undertaker will be on Raw Monday night. Mind you, we're on fucking Friday. They announced it on Monday. I'm just reiterating this right now. Undertaker will be on Raw Monday night, and Goldberg will be on SmackDown this upcoming Tuesday. Now, by the time they get to Raw and SmackDown, NXT TakeOver 25 will already be happening already. Will already be gone already. Now, I'm expecting NXT TakeOver 25 to blow the main roster out of the water on Saturday night, tomorrow night, but on a bad news situation there, I can't cover NXT TakeOver 25. Now, I'm not going to cover it Saturday, but I will be covering it Sunday. So, if you guys don't get a review on NXT TakeOver 25 on Saturday, which is tomorrow, expect it on Sunday. Just letting you know. I'm giving you guys episode 27 and 28 of the podcast today and tomorrow, depending on news going around. I might give you guys a double upload on Sunday. Depends on what happens with Boston and the Yankees, because I'm hearing that Sunday was supposed to be a fucking thunderstorm on Sunday. So, let's see about that, what happens on Sunday. But Raw was terrible. Let's just go over the week. Raw was terrible. Didn't give a fuck whatsoever. But these cretins want to, say, oh, it was Memorial Day, Chris. It was Memorial Day. You need to let it slide. There was no basketball games until yesterday. No basketball games until yesterday. If you guys are Raptor fans, you guys are up 1-0 so far in the NBA Finals. Good job. Good job. Now just beat them 3 more times, then we'll talk about that from there. Raw was terrible this past Monday. How you go into the second hour? How do you go into the second hour of Monday Night Raw with no matches? Like, who literally writes this shit? Who writes this shit? SmackDown. Thank God I didn't watch SmackDown. People were literally tweeting me, oh, Chris, SmackDown was terrible. Don't do a review, Chris. Don't even waste your fucking time. Still gave you a review. People told me, SmackDown was terrible. Chris, it was lackluster. Chris, don't waste your time reviewing SmackDown. Still gave you a review. Still gave it to you. NXT? People told me it was lackluster. So, no point in giving you guys a review there. And on top of that, I needed to rest up for what happened yesterday, because I had to do a double shift. I did my double shift, and I found out that the Red Sox Yankee game got postponed. So I was at work yesterday for a good 8 to 9 hours. So I did pretty good there. All right. So there you go. And then yesterday I came home from work, recorded Throwback Thursday, uploaded it, and then from there just knocked the fuck out. give you guys this episode 27 of the podcast early. You guys are seeing this on Friday afternoon before I go into work as the Red Sox take on the Yankees for a 3-game set at Yankee Stadium this weekend. So for all my Yankee fans, prepare your brooms, people. Prepare your brooms. Prepare your brooms. I find it funny that I'm also on Twitter, and I'm about to replay this video that Stephanie McMahon was talking about. I don't know if I can find it here. Okay, right here. Stephanie McMahon promises that she, the McMahon family, and the executive team will be taking action against Paul Heyman and Brock Lesnar after the disrespectful actions on Raw. This tweet got 4,000, from what, right now as I'm recording, this video got 4,690 likes. With over 2,300 comments on it. And over 900 retweets. I'm just gonna react to this as I have it on my phone. I'm gonna react to it.
The WWE renounces and in fact condemns the behavior of Brock Lesnar and Paul Heyman.
No, Stephanie. We condemn the behavior of Vince McMahon writing Monday Night Raw. Just saying. And not only Raw, SmackDown as well. Just saying.
On Monday Night Raw this past week, Brock Lesnar walked to the ring with the Money in the Bank briefcase fashioned as some kind of boombox, let alone making promises about announcing who they were going to face and cash in the Money in the Bank briefcase against.
Now, it's either Brock just found out himself that he's got a year to cash in that Money in the Bank contract, or he's trolling the shit out of everybody. I don't know, guys. You let me know down in the comment section. You guys let me know.
Which they did not do. But they also disrespected what the Money in the Bank contract represents.
No, Stephanie. Your father is disrespecting the sport of professional wrestling. That's what he's doing. Vince is killing this company faster than a fucking quickie.
They disrespected both the Universal Champion as well as the WWE Champion.
And by the way, I don't mind them disrespecting Kofi because I don't care about Kofi anymore. I'm more concerned about Rollins now because Rollins is going to defend the Universal Championship at Super Showdown against Baron fucking Corbin.
In fact, I think they disrespected the entire WWE as well as the WWE Universe. So on behalf of our organization, on behalf of all of our fans, I am going to take this matter up officially with both the McMahon family as well as our executive team. And we are going to take action.
Taking action. Taking action, huh? Now, are you gonna sit there and tell me that Vince, Stephanie, Shane, and Triple H are gonna be on Raw Monday night? Is this a way to boost up ratings? You have to bring all 4 members of the McMahon family to go to Monday Night Raw Monday night on the Go Home show. Well, not the Go Home show. On the last Raw before TakeOver. I don't know. Well, this is the Go Home show before. No, this is the Go Home show. Yeah, I'm completely bugged out today. This is the Go Home show before Super Showdown. You expect the ratings to go any higher? I don't. I don't care. To be brutally honest with you, I just don't care. I don't know why. And this is just confusing. This is just honestly confusing. This is honestly just fucking confusing. Why are they gonna take action over something that Brock didn't want to do? I don't get it. So Brock promises that he's gonna cash in on somebody, doesn't do it, and then they're gonna take action against this on Raw Monday night? If you think for 1 second this is gonna have me watch Raw Monday night, I don't know what to tell you. Is this gonna make Raw a whole lot better? No, it's not. It's not gonna make Raw a whole lot better. It's gonna make it even worse. And people are just gonna catch on over the fact that, oh, you gotta have Stephanie, Vince, Shane, and Triple H be on Monday Night Raw to take action against Brock Lesnar and Paul Heyman, just to boost up ratings. It's a desperate move, in my honest opinion. It's a desperate move to boost up ratings. Now, the show that we got on Raw Monday night, mind you, this is what they did after Double or Nothing. Did you see that show on Raw Monday night? If you thought Monday Night Raw was completely fucking terrible, I want you guys to hit that thumbs up already. I want to know, seriously, I really want to know how many of you people really thought Raw was completely fucking terrible. If you guys thought that Raw was completely fucking terrible, hit that thumbs up. I really want to know how many of you people would really think that Raw was that terrible Monday night. Yeah, you got the cretins and the lowlifes on social media, the basement-dwelling virgins on social media, that's gonna type away in a keyboard and shit. You know? You know? Oh, take it for what it is, man. If you don't like it, don't watch. I don't know what to tell you, folks. If you thought that Raw Monday Night was a really good show, there's no saving you whatsoever. There's no saving you. There's no saving you. I don't know what to say. There's nothing more I can say. I don't want to sound like a broken record on every single episode of the podcast, but seriously, Vince is going to kill anything that comes up from NXT. I don't know what more I'm going to say about that. And I said this all week. I said this on Double or Nothing Review. I said this on Raw. And I said this on Tuesday. And I said this many, many times before on Twitter. Vince, you have until October to write better shows. If you don't, you're going to be in some serious fucking trouble. You're already on some serious trouble already after what happened on Double or Nothing. You're already in trouble. That's just the beginning of the end. Do I want AEW to be successful? Yes. Do I want World Wrestling Entertainment to be successful? Yes. But unlike AEW, World Wrestling Entertainment is not going to be successful if Vince is there. So I see Vince having two simple choices. Either A, you write better shit, you push the right people and shit, you write logic television, write better storylines. Or, option B, you can do us all a favor and hand over the company to Triple H and his team down in NXT. Have Triple H take over, literally and figuratively. I heard that on Tuesday on SmackDown, they had event security confiscate at least 2 signs there that says, "You're not MJF and save us Triple H." As in, save us HHH. What more do you... What? Why? Is Vince punishing us for watching AEW? Is Vince punishing us for actually liking AEW's Double or Nothing event last Saturday night? If that's the case, that's fucked up. But then again, you watch the show that happened on Raw Monday night. You expect AEW to compete with this company? You expect WWE to compete with AEW? I got the fucking company mixed up. My fucking fault. You expect WWE to compete with AEW after the show that they put on Monday night on Raw? No. It's like they didn't care. He's like, oh, Double or Nothing already happened. Let's move on from it. Let's do our thing. While AEW, they do their thing. Oh, AEW is no competition. That's what all the cretins and all the fucking degenerates are gonna say on social media. Oh, AEW is no competition. Oh, AEW is nothing but a t-shirt company. AEW is nothing but a t-shirt company. The pre-show, the buy-in for Double or Nothing on Saturday night was better than what Raw and SmackDown did all year. All year. Now people are going to say, oh, Chris, you can't compare AEW to World Wrestling Entertainment after one show. Yes, I can. What's the problem with it? I'm speaking my own opinion. And if you don't like my opinion, blow me. I don't give a fuck about what you say, bro. I don't give a fuck, bro. If I want to compare AEW to WWE after one event, I'm going to do it. What are you going to do about it? Nothing. You're not. You're not. Double or Nothing felt fresh. Double or Nothing felt real. It felt real. All you have to do is watch Cody versus Dustin from Saturday night. That's all you got to do. That's the type of wrestling that we want. It's just that simple. Tell better stories. That's all we want. That's all we want. Tell better stories. Tell real life stories. And I said this time and time again, don't be afraid to add a little bit of realism into a storyline. It makes that storyline just a whole lot better. For example, you can go back to Randy Orton versus Triple H back in 2009. That storyline felt real. That storyline felt real. It added realism to it. Why? Because Triple H is married into the McMahon family. Triple H is married Stephanie. And on top of that, Triple H was the WWE champion. So because of that, that's a reality alone. No pun intended, of course. It just made that storyline a whole lot better. Now, the matchup that Orton and Triple H had at WrestleMania 25, the match was terrible. The build was a whole lot better than the match itself. If I'm Vince right now, like I said, you got till October to tell better stories. You got till October to write better shows. Because if you don't, you might as well hand over the company to Triple H. You might as well. You might as well. This is episode 27 of the Reality Podcast right here on the channel. Today we are going to go over news. I have a lot of news here. I have a lot of news. Now, honestly, you might have to kick back, relax, and enjoy the podcast because I got a whole lot of news. You guys see the thumbnail. You guys see the video. Chris Jericho. I have news on Jericho. I have a ton of news. But the one main story that I want to talk about is not only about Chris Jericho revealing when the AEW World Title match will take place. I want to talk about the Jon Moxley pipe bomb that he did on the Talk is Jericho podcast this past week. During this week. And I heard it. You guys, if you guys missed that podcast, go ahead and check it out. It's on iTunes, it's on Spotify. Go ahead and check it out. It's a really great listen. And all I gotta say is, now that I heard that podcast from Jericho, Talk is Jericho, I feel more bad for Jonathan Good. And I feel so happy for Jon Moxley now that he's away from the prison known as WWE. Wait till you hear this for what I'm about to tell you. If you guys haven't read if you guys haven't checked out Talk is Jericho, check it out. It's a really great listen. I advise. Matter of fact, I recommend anybody that's watching this podcast right now, go hear Talk is Jericho on that interview with Jon Moxley. Nothing about the straight truth. Nothing about the straight truth. But this is episode 27 of the Reality Podcast. If you guys don't know who I am your boy Chris. Thank you guys so much for tuning back into the channel on this Friday, May 31st, 2019. Summer is just right around the corner, people. If you guys are enjoying the content that I provided for you guys so far, I want you guys to hit that thumbs up. Leave a comment down below what you guys are thinking of the podcast so far. And if you guys are new to the channel, if you guys are wrestling fans, and you're watching this video for the very first time, I want you guys to hit that subscribe button down below. Ring those bells, guys, for all notifications, as we are dangerously close to 100 subscribers here on the channel. Check out Throwback Thursday from yesterday. Armageddon 2002 Throwback Thursday review video. Triple H and Shawn Michaels goes 2 out of 3 falls for the World Heavyweight Championship. Link to Throwback Thursday will be in the annotation above on the upper right hand corner of your screen. Check out SmackDown review. If you guys notice, there's no NXT review. No NXT review this week. I mean, there's no point to review NXT before a takeover. There's just no point. There's really no point. It just feels lackluster for some reason. But I heard Wednesday's NXT felt lackluster, so there's no point for me to do a review. But this SmackDown review, it's live on the channel right now. This company is nothing but a joke. They had Elias win the 24/7 championship, officially claiming himself as a fucking jobber, only to lose the championship back to R-Truth the same night. Yet there's nobody that hasn't even defended this garbage. The 24/7 championship is the most irrelevant and useless championship in WWE history, next to the Women's Tag Team Championships. Factual. SmackDown Live review is live on the channel right now. Link to this video will be in the annotation above in the upper right hand corner of your screen. Check out Raw review. Raw was completely fucking garbage. Yet there is people that's gonna defend this company on a weekly fucking basis. Does Vince McMahon really hate us that much? Literally, does he really? Link to Raw review will be in the annotation above on the upper right hand corner of your screen. And also, if you guys haven't checked out my Double or Nothing review, link to that video will also be in the annotation above in the upper right hand corner of your screen. Double or Nothing was a great pay-per-view, guys. If you guys missed Double or Nothing, go ahead and watch it. Go ahead and watch it. It's a really good pay-per-view. I recommend anybody who's a real wrestling fan that wants to see real wrestling and real storylines to go watch Double or Nothing. So there you go. This is the official home of the Reality Podcast right here on the channel. So make sure you guys are connecting with your boy Chris on social media. Twitter, Chris from Loring, and Snapchat, Chris Most Hated. And if you guys are enjoying the content, I want you guys to hit that subscribe button down below. Ring those bells, guys, for all notifications. And also here on episode 27 of the podcast, I will be doing a preview and prediction on NXT TakeOver 25. Or matter of fact, I could say that for tomorrow. I don't know. But matter of fact, I'm just going to do it tonight on this episode of the podcast. So that way tomorrow, I have more news for you guys. And then probably Sunday, you guys are going to get a NXT TakeOver 25 review on the channel on Sunday. So there you go. I'm going to start off with this Chris Jericho news. News on Jericho. There is so much news on Chris Jericho. But I'm going to open up with this one. Chris Jericho reveals when the AEW World Heavyweight Championship match will take place. Or it says here, will happen. AEW has a lot of momentum heading out of Double or Nothing. But Cody Rhodes said that All Out will be another annual tentpole for the company. The All Elite World title revealed by Bret Hart at AEW Double or Nothing event this past Saturday is now we know when a match will take place for the new title to take place. Chris Jericho defeated Kenny Omega to earn a spot in the title match while Hangman Page won the Casino Battle Royale match during the Double or Nothing buy-in this past Saturday night. Now the two will face off each other at All Out. So if you guys are in Chicago, you guys are going to All Out on August the 31st in the Sears Center. You guys will see Hangman Page against Chris Jericho for the AEW World Heavyweight Championship. While on Busted Up Radio, Chris Jericho revealed that he will face Adam Page for the All Elite World Title at All Out on Labor Day weekend. This is an interesting situation because Pac was supposed to defeat Hangman Page at Double or Nothing, but he couldn't lose as Dragon Gate champion. Therefore, Dave Meltzer reported he couldn't lose to Kenny Omega later on. This would lead some to believe that the AEW World Title match at All Out would have originally been Kenny Omega versus Pac. If that was the case, then Omega should have defeated Jericho at Double or Nothing. It really doesn't matter now because they got to this point because Chris Jericho versus Adam Hangman Page is still going to be an amazing match that we can only assume will main event All Out on August 31st. For everybody that's going to be in Chicago, you guys are going to be a part of history. It will be Chris Jericho going up against Hangman Page, Adam Page, for the AEW World Heavyweight Championship at All Out in August. Now, I expect this match with the main event All Out. I don't see this match kicking off All Out. I see this match clearly 100% main eventing All Out in Chicago. Now, the fact that people are just speculating and shit, you look at the All Out poster, and it has the 4 Chicago stars on it, next to the All Out logo. People are assuming that CM Punk is going to show up. Listen, I said this to myself after watching All Out. After AEW revealed that All Out was going to be in Chicago during Double or Nothing. And I said this to myself. I don't see Punk going back to the WWE. I don't. Now, is it a possibility that Punk could be at All Out in August? I'm not going to say no. I'm not going to say yes either. It's a possibility. At this point, it's a toss-up. If Punk shows up, he shows up. It'll fucking break the fucking internet. And if Punk doesn't show up, what did you guys expect? Now, people were spreading rumors last year during All In that Punk was going to be in Chicago. He was there. I think he was there for an autograph signing. I think he was there for a meet and greet last year at the Pro Wrestling Tees headquarters, which is in Chicago. Many people thought that Punk was going to be in All In last year. He didn't even show up. Now, do I want Punk to be at AEW? It's up to Punk. It's up to CM Punk. I don't see Punk going back to Vince. I don't. You think CM Punk is going to go back to World Wrestling Entertainment with Vince McMahon being there? Or as a matter of fact, you think CM Punk is going to go back to World Wrestling Entertainment with Triple H in charge? I don't think so. The only wrestling organization I can see Punk coming to, if he does decide to come back to professional wrestling, is AEW. He knows Omega. He knows the Young Bucks. He knows Cody. He knows Jericho. I'm sure that he probably doesn't know Tony Khan, but if they met at some point. But I don't see Punk going to, back to Ring of Honor. I don't see Punk going to New Japan. I don't see Punk going to Impact. I don't see Punk coming back to the WWE. I just don't. The only company I see Punk coming back to is AEW. Well, not coming back. The only wrestling promotion I see Punk going to is AEW. It's AEW. So there you go. AEW World Title match will take place at All Out in August in Chicago. We're going to stay with the Jericho topic here. Chris Jericho explains why World Wrestling Entertainment isn't happy about AEW's Double or Nothing. Now, Double or Nothing top Google searches on May 25th, earning themselves the #3 trend in the whole world. This was a big deal, but it could only be the beginning for AEW's momentum. While speaking to Busted Open Radio, Chris Jericho revealed that World Wrestling Entertainment is officially on notice because they have been keeping track of AEW, and Vince McMahon's company knows exactly what's going on. They're not happy about it either. This is what Chris Jericho said, and I quote, "They know exactly what is going on. They have the daily social media reports, the analytics, the demographics. I know we had 200,000 Google searches. That's up there with NFL numbers. I'm sure they're watching, and they are not very happy with what happened. You can't tell me a show that had Chris Jericho, Dustin Rhodes, Jim Ross, Bret Hart, Dean Malenko calling the matches backstage didn't make World Wrestling Entertainment angry. Now, World Wrestling Entertainment is a juggernaut. They are not going anywhere. They have money to last decades and decades and decades. They have a huge talent roster, but this is a scene change. This puts WWE on watch." End quote. World Wrestling Entertainment, now get this. World Wrestling Entertainment didn't seem to try much to change things this week on Raw and SmackDown Live. They certainly didn't get any viewers, with the 4th lowest Raw rating in company's history. Let me repeat that. They certainly didn't gain any viewers, with the 4th lowest Raw rating in the company's history. And we're not even in fucking summer yet. We're not even in the summer months. And Raw just suffered its 4th lowest rating in company history. Perhaps AEW will eventually cause World Wrestling Entertainment to try something different. Yeah, sure. But at this point, at least we know that they're not happy about AEW's Double or Nothing. If I'm Vince McMahon right now, what would you change? What is there to change on Raw and SmackDown? It's the same shit every week. It's the same shit every week. What's there to change? Now, when we saw Raw and SmackDown this past Monday and Tuesday, we got this certain vibe that Vince doesn't give a fuck. And I said this to myself also. All Elite Wrestling is not going anywhere. And I said this also on Double Nothing Review. Link is in the annotation on the upper right hand corner of your screen, by the way. If you guys want to go ahead and check it out. AEW's not going anywhere. They're not going anywhere. I don't know why these people feel entitled to defend this show, to defend Raw and SmackDown on a weekly basis. Are you guys getting a small commission out of Vince's pocket? No. Are you guys getting paid every single week to defend Raw and SmackDown on social media? No. No. You're not. So do us real fans a simple favor. Don't defend the show. Shut the fuck up. Because your opinion does not even matter if you're going to defend this shit on a weekly basis. Oh, and by the way, during Talk is Jericho, when Jon Moxley talks, motherfucker, you better fucking listen. Because of the shit that Jon Moxley said on that interview is not only eye-popping, but it's going to shock you in a really serious matter. I'm going to put this out right there. During Monday night, and I heard about this during Talk is Jericho with Jon Moxley even said this himself. He was depressed and was sick to his stomach to work on Raw every single week. What do you think the environment is there in WWE? And also, remember the Shield's last run? He only got paid $500. While Roman and Seth is making millions. What does that tell you? And that Dean and that Vince wanted to bury Dean by having him feud with Nia Jax. What the fuck does that say about Vince McMahon? If you're gonna sit there and defend Vince on a weekly fucking basis, you don't know wrestling. You don't know wrestling? You shouldn't even say the word wrestling. You should delete every single wrestling memory you have. Delete it off your memory. Delete it. Delete it. I don't know what else to even fucking tell you at this point. I just don't know what to tell you. And I feel bad for Jon Moxley himself. I feel bad for fucking Jonathan Good. I feel bad. I feel bad. But now, watching Jon Moxley in AEW and what he did at Double or Nothing, he also said that being at Double or Nothing, he said it was a huge weight lifted off his shoulders. You could see the body language and his face reaction during Double or Nothing on Saturday night, that he was happy to be there. That he was happy to be there. He was happy that he escaped the prison known as WWE. Vince is a fucking prison guard. And World Wrestling Entertainment is the biggest fucking prison of wrestling. Yeah, people want to say, oh, my dream is to go to World Wrestling Entertainment. You might want to rethink that decision. You might want to rethink that decision. I'm just saying. I am just fucking saying. Moving on here with the podcast here. Do I have any more Chris Jericho news? I mean, there's a bunch of them here. I mean, I need to find one. Okay, here we go. I think I have another one here. Actually, no. I think I'm done with the Jericho. Yeah, there's no more Jericho news here. Here's a rumor killer on AEW Double or Nothing pay-per-view numbers. Now, AEW Double or Nothing is still the talk of the IWC as fans anticipate AEW's next big event. Dave Meltzer, he said on Wrestling Observer Radio that AEW Double or Nothing searches on Google search reached 200,000. This placed them as third highest trending search on Google for May 25th, but that doesn't mean that many people actually ordered the pay-per-view. Still, people are under the assumption that those numbers mean actual streaming and pay-per-view buys. Those numbers are simply not available yet. Tony Khan seemed to confirm this while speaking to Buster Open Radio, as he explained that although Double or Nothing is a great show that AEW now has under the belt, that doesn't mean they know how people ordered it just yet. This is what Tony Khan said. He said a lot of shit here. And quote, this is what Tony Khan said, and I quote, "We are going to be doing a live weekly television show on TNT. It will debut prime time this fall. We are also going to be distributing to a number of other top wrestling markets. I can't exactly say where the TV is going to be. And then as far as the pay-per-view distribution, I thought that our partners were awesome for this show. Like I said, we had done a great show, and we now have that under our belts. The folks at Bleacher Report Live were awesome. The cable and satellite carriers were on demand. Working with all the cable carriers, DirecTV and Dish Network, that has been great. I really like the people at Fight TV and ITV Box Office did an amazing job at the show, and I think we are really going to be happy when the numbers come in from England and the UK in general, because of the support that we received from them was great, and we really would like to be partners with them for a very long time." He continues by saying, and also, and I quote, "I can't say enough great things domestically here in the United States to have wrestling back on the Turner Network or with Warner Media with TNT. They are a wrestling network for better or for worse. There have been a few channels that have been really successful in our lifetime broadcasting wrestling, and TNT is absolutely one of them, as much as anyone. I think it's really cool that they are back in business." End quote. Damn, Tony Khan's a really smart man. Tony Khan stated that he doesn't know the numbers yet for Double or Nothing, but he expects that people will be happy. If Tony doesn't know, then nobody is going to know just yet. This we do know is that refs from TNT were at Double or Nothing, and it's hard to imagine that they are not excited about bringing AEW to their network. I'm excited for AEW on TNT. I'm excited. I'm just fucking excited here. You know, Tony Khan, he's one of the biggest wrestling fans that you can ever meet, that you can ever know. Tony Khan's a smart man. He's a great businessman. But at the same time, I'm not gonna say this as a bad thing, but people are quick to judge that AEW is nothing but a t-shirt company. Vince should have no competition. Vince shouldn't worry. Oh, Vince has a lot to worry. If you guys saw Double or Nothing back on Saturday night, Vince has many, many reasons to worry. And trust me, I think AEW will be very, very successful for a very long time. As long as, here's what I'm going to give advice to AEW. Don't try to compete with WWE. Don't do what WCW did. Just don't do it. Remember how WCW tried to compete with World Wrestling Federation? Look what happened. Look what happened. WCW was beating them in the ratings for like 80-something consecutive weeks. 1 week, momentum changed. Momentum swung in WWE's favor. So there you go. More news here, guys, in the podcast here. More news here. What can I find here? What can I find here? There's news on Terry Reynolds. I really don't care. When did WWE found out Jon Moxley was going to AEW? Jon Moxley is now All Elite Wrestling, but Vince McMahon is not happy about that fact at all. They were under the assumption that Dean Ambrose just needed some time off. Little did they know he just needed out of WWE. Can you blame him at this point? No. As we previously reported via Brad Shepard, Moxley worked Vince McMahon to get out of his World Wrestling Entertainment deal, so it simply expired. They didn't tack on any more time to his contract, and he was gone and free to work elsewhere immediately. This is why Vince McMahon was so furious. Dave Meltzer said on Wrestling Observer Radio that World Wrestling Entertainment actually found out that Moxley was going to AEW on the Thursday before AEW's Double or Nothing, so it's not like they were totally caught off guard when he showed up. This is what Dave Meltzer said, and I quote, I don't think that they did tack on more time because he would have complained about it. I think they just didn't. From what I understand, they found out he was going to AEW on that Thursday before Double or Nothing. I think that he snowed them with the idea that I'm just burnt out. I just need time off. And because of that, they were like, if he just needs time off and he's going to work CCW or places like that, you know what I mean. End quote. This not only confirmed the previous report that Moxley misled World Wrestling Entertainment to get out of his deal, but Moxley kind of alluded to himself during his Talk is Jericho interview. It's hard to know that Vince McMahon is ever thinking, but it's hard to believe that he would have let Dean Ambrose go so easily if he knew that the Lunatic Fringe was AEW bound. If you want out of your WWE deal, lot of Vince. Jon Moxley literally and figuratively finessed Vince McMahon. Now, remember when Dean was hurt and he was out for 9 months? He was out for 9 months. Vince could have added that 9 months to his contract. But then again, Luke Harper missed out by 6-7 months because of a wrist injury. Vince added 6 or 7 months to Luke Harper's contract. Yet you're not using him. Has he even showed up on television? The only time we've seen Luke Harper was at WrestleMania during the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. Ever since then, we haven't seen Luke Harper. If you're not going to use Luke Harper, let him go. Vince could have easily tacked in those 9 months that Dean was out and added to his contract. Yeah, sure, Dean would be pissed off about it. It just doesn't make sense. How are you going to add 6-7 months to Luke Harper's contract, but you won't add 9 months to Dean Ambrose's contract? Now look where he's at. Within 15 minutes, AEW turned Jon Moxley into the biggest star he has ever made, that he's ever been. AEW did something in 15 minutes that Vince didn't do in Dean's time in WWE. Was make him into a superstar. Yeah, people want to argue with me on Twitter. Oh, Dean did this. Oh, Dean did that. He's out of the company. Dean's out of the fucking company. So therefore, whatever you have to say about Dean's accolades and shit. Oh, he was a Grand Slam champion, you know. His championship rings were good and solid. He's not in the company anymore. He's not in WWE. So therefore, your comment, your opinion is already fucking invalid. Your statement is invalid. For all those people who fucking came at me on Twitter about fucking Dean Ambrose. Dean Ambrose was a C+ player to the Shield. He was a third wheel to the Shield. Always was and always will be. Dean was always a third wheel. What you want me to say about Dean Ambrose? Yeah, he's a fucking workhorse. Yeah, I'll give you that. But his reign as champion, his reign as world champion in 2016 was a boring title reign. It was a boring title reign. Dean's best feud as a singles run was against AJ Styles. Yeah, you could sprinkle in Seth Rollins in fucking 2014. Yeah, you could sprinkle that in. But other than that, Dean Ambrose was a C+ player in the Shield. A C+ player. And you know who fucked up? Vince. And you know what the crazy part about that is? It's not his fault. It's not his fault. It's not Dean's fault. I don't know why these people think that, you know. So much fucking crybabies. Like, it's not even fucking funny. There's so much crybabies here. It's not even fucking funny. We'll stick to the Jon Moxley topic here on the podcast. Jon Moxley on World Wrestling Entertainment trying to bury him with the Nia Jax feud. And this is what he said on the Chris Jericho podcast. Jon Moxley is no longer in the confines of World Wrestling Entertainment, the prison of wrestling. But during his final run with the company, an angle was teased between himself and Nia Jax. This gave him a lot of cause for concern that the company would bury him on the way out. This is fucking depressing. Depressing from what I'm about to read to you right now. As he told Chris Jericho, Moxley didn't let a lot of people know that he wasn't planning on leaving the company. In fact, only a very select few knew that he was aware of. This is what Moxley said, and I quote, "About an hour before the show, a producer came up to me saying that there's been some additions. This is when Ambrose was told that he would stay in the ring after the commercial break, and he would have a confrontation with Nia Jax." End quote. This is when Moxley started to get hot because of those changes to the script. Jon Moxley said, and I quote, "I'm like, yes, let's talk to Vince because now I'm getting hot. I'm totally cool with taking a bump for Nia. I did it. It's 2019. She's a very powerful woman. She did great in the Royal Rumble the night before. If this existed outside of me leaving, that's a totally different conversation," end quote. Moxley said that only a very select few people knew that he was leaving the company at that point, and those people were the only ones who were involved in the final script altercation that night, which is when Ambrose's segment with Nia Jax was added to the script. This is what Moxley said also, and I quote. So it's like once it gets down to the super secret meeting with only the people who knew I was leaving, that's when my mysterious new addition comes in, and it really felt like a middle finger, and my skin was hot, and I'm like, let's go talk to Vince. So I started storming towards the production meeting with Johnny. Ace is following me, and I go storming right up the middle of the production meeting room, and Vince immediately gets up and starts gathering his stuff and goes, oh, my office. And I'm like, yes, let's go to your office. So we sit in his office, and he starts baby facing me, and he said, I understand you gave your notice, and thank you so much for everything. And I say, I guess we're doing this now, so we have our talk or whatever. And by the point he's trying to justify it in his mind, and I told Carano, that the day I knew I was leaving, and that the day I got the shot, I was thinking, he told Vince that, because Vince goes, I heard you were unhappy with something about the shot thing we did. I wish you could have told me. I didn't know we had these problems. I'm thinking in my head, why the fuck was I in your office then? I was storming in there, and I said, what is this? Like I do all the time. How do you not know? Of course you knew. He's got to make it all okay in his mind like I didn't know. You knew. You've known for a long time. There's a lot more stuff here. They're saying here. Moxley said he was still trying to babyface Vince, and things got emotional. But he took the opportunity to say something, to say everything he wanted to say, because had been having this conversation in his head for months. He told Vince McMahon that every Monday he gets physically sick, and he doesn't know what kind of goofy nonsense that script would have each week. Vince said he wished he would have known, but he did know. He did know. Moxley couldn't live with some writer writing. Moxley couldn't live with some writer coming up with words for him to say when they didn't even know him. This is what Moxley said also, and I quote, I'm trying to be like you. Yeah, I just need to get away for a while because I'm hoping that he just writes me off television that night. He goes, oh, we'll finish you up at Mania, whatever. He said, we're not going to bury you on the way out. I said, actually, it's funny you should mention that because that's why I stormed in here, because it looks to me like that's exactly what the fuck you're doing. End quote. These are the words of Dean Ambrose in Vince's office. Vince McMahon said that writing an angle between Ambrose and Nia Jax had a plan behind it. However, all Mox heard was, we're burying the fuck out of you, blah, blah, blah. We're burying the fuck out of you. Eventually, Dean Ambrose did what he needed to do in order to wait out his contract's expiration date. But the company still worked him until pretty much the last moment they could. Let me ask you a question right now. If you're a degenerate, if you're a fucking defender of this fucking company, how do you feel now? How do you feel now that Dean Ambrose never got creative control over his character? How do you feel about Jon Moxley now? Now that he's in AEW, he has all this freedom to do whatever the fuck he wants. He can write his own script. He can do whatever the fuck he wants. He doesn't have to have people fucking write scripts for him. He does it all on his own. He does it all on his own. When it comes to a superstar, it's either cash or creative. What made you think Kenny, the Young Bucks, and Cody did not sign with WWE? Creative. The money was there, all right. The money was there. It's just creative. It's just fucking creative. I don't know how you people are still gonna defend this shit. I just don't know how. I just really do not know how at this point. me see if I can find... Okay, I have another Jon Moxley story. Jon Moxley reveals how he told WWE that he was leaving. There is a lot of shit here about Jon Moxley, which I'm going to report some today and then some tomorrow. AEW Double or Nothing concluded with Jon Moxley making a huge statement to the pro wrestling world. He is no longer a WWE superstar, and it doesn't look like he'll be back anytime soon as well. However, AEW wasn't his primary destination when he informed Vince that he was leaving the company. Jon Moxley revealed on Chris Jericho that his intentions weren't to leave for AEW. When he told World Wrestling Entertainment he was rejecting their new offer. He simply wanted out of the company because he was miserable and felt creatively stifled. That didn't stop the rumor mill from churning at full force when the news broke out that he wasn't re-signing with WWE. This is what Jon Moxley said, and I quote, obviously that was the instant rumor as soon as it came out. Oh, he's going to AEW, but people don't know anything, you know? I saw every possible rumor. I get a text every day with a screenshot or a link or whatever. Is this true? Is this true? Is this true? I guess silence drives people nuts, and I've just been silent. People just want to know, and the people who are supposed to know, I guess they have to say something. So they keep saying that they're sending me a new contract. I'm like, okay, it's coming next week. We just gotta get through Saudi, and a new contract's coming, you know? I'm like, okay. Moxley continues by saying, and I quote, I'm waiting for it because I'm relishing the opportunity to get a new contract, and then saying, not interested. I'm like, waiting for it. I'm excited for it because I don't know how they're going to react eventually. It just doesn't come. And then it's like Royal Rumble weekend, and I'm thinking, like, I know I'm supposed to work with Seth on Monday, and Mark Carrano says it's coming on Monday, and Hunter wants to give it to you personally or whatever. I just couldn't hold it in anymore. We were at some access or something. I just couldn't hold it in anymore. I was like, dude, look, in 114 days or whatever, I'm gone. He continues by saying, and I quote, it's getting hot in my damn room, Jesus Christ. This is what I told Vince too, and Hunter. I said this is not a decision I came too fast or lightly. This has been a long time coming. I'm not going to change my mind. This is not about anyone's particular thing. This is not about an emotional decision. This is happening. I'm leaving, and it's okay. End quote. Mark Carrano asked if Mox wanted him to tell Vince McMahon. John didn't want to ruffle any feathers because it was Royal Rumble weekend, and he didn't tell anybody like Seth because he knew that Rollins was winning the Royal Rumble. Moxley just wanted to put it out there that he was leaving, so they didn't advertise him for future events. He was also secretly hoping that he'd get to work with Seth Rollins on that Monday, and he cursed at me into oblivion, and I get to go home. He didn't think there was any way they could keep him on television if he knew that he was leaving. Then the next night after the Royal Rumble, Dean Ambrose waited to speak to Vince about it personally, and this interaction did not go as well. Vince McMahon was furious at Moxley because he left McMahon with the impression that he would just be taking a break from the company. However, that obviously wasn't the case. There you go. You guys really obviously just don't know how a superstar is feeling every single week. Like these cretins think that they know shit when they really don't. They just hide behind their keyboards and shit. Talk a bunch of bullshit. Like I said, I don't want to sound like a broken record, but I'm happy for him. I'm happy. I'm happy for Jon Moxley, and I'm happy for him. I'm going to end the podcast here because I want to say some news for Saturday. I'm only already an hour in. Last bit of news here before the podcast ends. As a matter of fact, I'm going to preview and predict TakeOver 25 tomorrow. Tomorrow on Saturday. You guys are going to get the podcast early Saturday before NXT TakeOver 25. This is a fucked up story right here that I'm about to read to you guys. This is a fucked up story. WWE reportedly looking at what to do with Renee Young. Get this. Renee Young was still on Raw this week in her usual role as commentator, but she didn't utter a word when Sami Zayn dropped the AEW line heard around the WWE universe. Jon Moxley and Renee Young are married in real life, and although Mox did state that he didn't want to ask for his release from the company because he didn't want to cause Young any problems that might be difficult now. Brad Shepard reported on the All You Didn't Know podcast that World Wrestling Entertainment is currently trying to figure out what to do with Renee Young after her husband left the company. It might not be a good look for the company, for World Wrestling Entertainment, to punish Renee Young, but they haven't batted an eye when it comes to a bad PR before. This is what Brad Shepard reported, and I quote, "So I think it's very interesting now because it puts Renee Young in an interesting situation. I am told they're looking at what to do with her as well, but they're not happy about it. Vince is fuming over Dean Ambrose, aka Jon Moxley, telling them that he was just going to Hollywood to make a movie, but actually he was leaving to make a movie and sign with All Elite Wrestling," end quote. Only time will tell what happens with Renee Young on Raw. It might be very hard to publicly do anything to her because of fan backlash. After all, World Wrestling Entertainment has lost a lot of momentum recently, which is apparent anyway. Still, her situation with World Wrestling Entertainment is said to be a little awkward now. This is fucked up. You're gonna blame Renee Young. Technically, this is what Vince is doing. Vince knows that Renee Young is married to Dean Ambrose, aka Jon Moxley. Maybe Renee Young knew before anybody else knew that Dean wanted to leave. Because obviously, Renee Young is Dean's wife. So obviously, she's obviously going to be the first person to know. And obviously, Vince is going to be pissed off because what if Renee Young was the first person to know and she didn't tell Vince? That sounds like a literally fucked up situation. Now, this would be fucked up if Vince fired Renee Young. Renee Young is going to go to where her husband is at, and that's All Elite Wrestling. You know Vince is not going to release anybody. Vince is not going to fire anybody. Because they leave, they go to AEW. I'm telling you, the AEW effect, people think that the AEW effect is not real. After what the fuck happened at Double or Nothing, my guy, it is not even 100% real. It's 1,000% real. And I'm getting the fuck up out of here because I need to get to work, and I'm fucking tired. And I'm exhausted here. And I gotta come back home from work and record episode 28 of the podcast right here for tomorrow. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoy the podcast. If you guys enjoy the podcast, leave a thumbs up. Leave a comment down below what you guys thought of the podcast. And if you guys are new to the channel, you guys are wrestling fans just like I am, be sure to show your love by hitting that subscribe button down below, ringing those bells, guys, for all notifications, as we are dangerously close to 100 subscribers right here on the channel. Throwback Thursday is live on the channel right now. Link to this video will be in the annotation above in the upper right hand corner of your screen. SmackDown Live is live on the channel right now. So is Monday Night Raw. And AEW Double or Nothing review is live on the channel as well. This is the official home of the Reality Podcast, so make sure you guys are connecting with your boy Chris on social media. Twitter, Chris from Loring, and Snapchat, Chris Most Hated. And like I said, if you guys are enjoying the content, be sure to hit that subscribe button down below. Ringing those bells, guys, for all notifications. I will see you guys tomorrow for another episode of the Reality Podcast, episode 28, where we go over more news and rumors. And also, we will do a preview and prediction segment of NXT TakeOver 25. I will get you guys ready for quite possibly one of the biggest takeovers of the entire year. This is the 25th anniversary of a NXT TakeOver show. So you know Triple H is going to go all out on NXT TakeOver 25 tomorrow. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys tomorrow for episode 28 of the Reality Podcast. I am Chris. Thank you guys so much for watching. Leave a like, comment, subscribe, and share this video all over social media. And until then, I will see you guys tomorrow on Saturday for episode 28 of the Reality Podcast. So then, talk to you guys later.